Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about making everyone's favorite exercise, the hip thrust, more comfortable. So we're going to kind of go over the basic. These are going to be some of the kind of just the base pads. Now different brands might be better or worse than the ones I'm showing you, so it's going to be more about the pluses and minuses of the different designs. Now, the very first one is going to be just a basic towel. So if a hip thrust doesn't really bother you all that much, you don't necessarily need a pad at all. You can just wrap a towel around the bar and do it like that. The second option would be something more of like one of these pads that is also sold mainly for squatting, to put on a bar to make the squat feel a little bit better on your shoulders. This is kind of a denser foam, but you can also use this for hip thrusts. Now, if you're doing heavy, this is going to provide some cushion, but it's still kind of thin, and so you are going to still feel it. It doesn't take up a lot of space, so you could fit it into like a gym bag and bring it in yourself. And then, as you can see, it kind of just slips over the bar. So it's really nice and easy to get on, but you also just have to be careful when you're trying to get your bar into position that you don't roll the pad with the bar and then end up popping this off against your body. So, this isn't necessarily a bad option. It can be used for other exercises like the squat, like I mentioned, but it's okay. Now this is very similar to the blue one, except this it's kind of a step up. It's still foam, but it's going to be much thicker. Thicker foam, it's about the same density, there's just more of it, so it is a little more comfortable. And then it does have, a case for it as well. And then it's nice in that it does have a Velcro kind of catch to keep it on the bar at least. Still nice and small, can still fit into a gym bag. It will go onto the bar the same way. So just like the other one, the downside is it can roll and you can get the bar to kind of pop out especially in the middle of an exercise or just trying to get the bar into location. So that's a minus, but it is more comfortable than the other one. And it's not bad, it's nice, easy to use. You can still use it for other exercises, like if you want to do like a front squat or a Zercher squat, and you hold it, you'll make that more comfortable. And you can probably do other exercises that you use with the barbell and make those more comfortable as well. And they're not necessarily terribly expensive. Now, the last one is appropriately named the hip thrust pad. As you can see, this one is not a circle, it is just a plain pad. And this is actually built a little bit different in that there is kind of a flexible plastic or something in here. And then you also have a foam, so that harder upper layer is what helps disperse the pressure of the bar. So it doesn't feel as pinpointed as with the foam ones, because as you put more weight onto the foam ones, you can feel the bar more than with this one. It really does work a lot better when you have more weight on the bar. One of the downsides is that, well, it is just a pad. So if you're working out alone, I have more issues trying to get this into the right spot and then keeping it in the right spot, because I've had the bar too far off towards one end and then the bar actually rolled off, which did not feel particularly good. But that might just be because I don't necessarily do hip thrust very often, so my setup might not be the best. But if you have another person, this is probably really, really easy for you to use. Now, because this one is just a pad, It is nice in that if you're doing any sort of exercise where you're kneeling, if you're doing like kneeling ab crunches, well, you can just kneel on this instead of directly on your mats or whatever, which, you know, makes it feel better. You can use it for floor press as well. It's a little bit small for that, but technically you can use it for a floor press. Or if you're doing lunges and you're not necessarily doing a step lunge and you're just maybe burning yourself out on lunges, then you can put this down so your knee doesn't necessarily hit the ground. Your knee can hit something on this. That might just be because of my personal preference.
And I don't particularly like lunges, so
I like to have something for my knee to hit. So overall, you know, this is another decent choice. That brings us to the end of this video. Let us know in the comments down below which one's your favorite. I mean, for me, it's a tough choice. You know, it's gonna kind of come down to what you like to do with the pad. If you like to do more Zercher squats or front squats, because this this pad is a little bit thinner and not nearly as big as diameter, well, it makes those exercises easier to do, and you know, makes those exercises more comfortable, and maybe you don't do a lot of hip thrusts, so this one would work out fine for you. But if I'm working out alone and for convenience, I actually prefer more of the circle pad, especially if it has the little enclosure, so I don't necessarily have to worry about it popping off the bar as much. You know, if you have long enough arms, this is probably still fine for a Zercher squat. Probably would be a little bit big for a front squat though. And then for out and out comfort for heavy hip thrusts, I would probably go with that hip thrust pad, because the way they designed this, yeah, that little hard piece in there, that really helps. It really makes it so you don't have a pinpointed feeling of where the bar is. It helps spread that out very nicely. And if you found any of that helpful, please leave a like, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I'll talk to you again soon.